The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly. Stars glittered like scattered diamonds, and nebulae painted swirls of red and purple across the void. Among this beauty, the Valorian recon fleet moved with precision. They were explorers and warriors, the pride of the Valorian Empire, and they believed no threat in the galaxy could challenge them. Captain Thalkara, a tall, blue-scaled alien with sharp eyes and a reputation for caution, stood on the bridge of the flagship Veyra's Might. Around him, officers monitored their scanners. The calm hum of the ship filled the room, but a subtle tension hovered. Deep space often held surprises, rare, dangerous, and sometimes deadly. "Captain," said Lieutenant Zyrax, pointing to the main console. "Sensors have detected an incoming object. Unidentified. Small, but moving fast. Approaching our sector." Thalkara's eyes narrowed. "Can you identify it?" Zyrax shook his head. "Negative, sir. The readings are strange. Materials unknown. Energy signatures unusual. It doesn't match anything in our database." A murmur ran through the bridge crew. Thalkara straightened. "Prepare a deep scan. I want every detail. This could be a trader, a scout, or something else." The fleet's other ships moved into formation around the object. The alien officers exchanged nervous glances. The Valorians were confident, but uncertainty always brought tension. The deep scan began. Waves of energy pulsed outward, touching the object. For moments, nothing seemed unusual. Then, the readings returned. Zyrax's eyes widened. "Captain, you need to see this." Thalkara approached the console. The display showed the shape of the unknown ship. It was sleek, metallic, and small compared to a battleship. Yet something was wrong. The hull material was denser than the strongest Valorian alloys. The internal layout revealed training chambers, hazard simulations, and sealed compartments designed to survive tremendous stress. Thalkara's jaw tightened. "Impossible. This technology, it doesn't match anything in the known galaxy." Lieutenant Zyrax scanned further. "Captain, its engines. The output is off the charts. Even our fastest ships could never keep up. It's built for speed, strength, and endurance beyond comprehension." The Valorian officers looked at each other with a mixture of fear and awe. Their pride as the galaxy's explorers faltered against the mystery of this small vessel. Suddenly, the alien ship's scan triggered a counter-scan. A flash of light, a subtle pulse, and the Valorian systems started buzzing. Their consoles displayed alarms. "Status report," Thalkara barked. Zyrax's claws tapped frantically on the console. "It's scanning us back, Captain. It knows we are here. The systems are adapting to our sensors. I've never seen anything like it." Thalkara's eyes narrowed. "Alert the fleet. Prepare for evasive maneuvers. This is no ordinary vessel." The alien ships adjusted their positions. The unknown human warship remained calm, unthreatened, and seemingly small compared to the massive Valorian fleet. But every display, every reading, showed it was far stronger than it appeared. On the human warship, HMS Resolute, the bridge was quiet, almost peaceful. Commander James Callahan, a tall man with a composed face and calm eyes, observed the Valorian fleet through the viewport. His crew moved efficiently, each action practiced and precise. "Sensors indicate multiple unidentified ships approaching," said Lieutenant Maya Chen, her fingers dancing over the console. Callahan nodded. "They're curious. Keep scanning. But don't respond yet. Let them see our presence. They need to decide for themselves." The human crew worked seamlessly, their focus unshakable. The ship itself was a marvel. Its hull was layered with advanced alloys, capable of withstanding extreme force. Its engines were designed for speed and power, yet energy efficiency made them quiet. Its weapons were offline, silent, but capable of incredible output. And inside, Training arenas simulated every environment, every hazard imaginable. Back in the Valorian fleet, the officers whispered among themselves. Fear spread. They had scanned the ship, and each new reading made them more uneasy. Its strength, its design, its calmness. It was unlike anything they had encountered. Captain Thalkara took a deep breath. Prepare a hailing attempt. Let us establish communication before this escalates. The Valorian fleet sent a standard message across subspace. Unidentified vessel, identify yourself. State your intentions immediately. Moments passed. The human ship remained still. Then a reply came, clear and calm. Unknown vessels, we acknowledge your presence. We are HMS Resolute. We respond to distress signals. We mean no harm. The alien crew froze. The message was calm, precise, almost human in its simplicity. Yet the presence behind it, the sheer power of the ship, made the Valorians tremble. Captain, said Lieutenant Zyrax, voice trembling. They are powerful. And yet, peaceful. How can they be so calm in front of our fleet? Thalkara didn't answer immediately. His eyes studied the display of the human warship. Every reading confirmed it. Their scans had underestimated the vessel. The humans had built a warship strong enough to protect themselves against an entire fleet, yet they did not attack. Their strength was not meant to conquer, it was meant to survive and protect. Another alarm sounded. The energy signatures in the surrounding space began to shift. A nearby nebula was releasing bursts of charged particles. The Valorian fleet's shields flickered. Captain, shouted a young officer. The nebula's activity is increasing. We might be caught in a sudden storm. Thalkara's claws gripped the console. All ships, brace for turbulence. Adjust shields to maximum. The human commander, James Callahan, had already seen the signs. Energy storm approaching. Valorian fleet. You will be in its path. We can guide you out if you follow our instructions. The aliens hesitated. Pride, fear, and suspicion battled in their minds. Could they trust this small human ship? The calmness, the confidence. It was unnerving. Thalkara finally nodded. Very well. We follow your guidance, but we remain cautious. Callahan's calm voice filled the comm channels. Understood. Begin formation alignment. Match our trajectory. Trust the ship. And we will get everyone out safely. As the storm approached, the humans demonstrated something the Valorians had not expected. They moved with precision. Their ship shielded others. Their calculations were flawless, and yet, their crew remained calm, organized, and prepared. One by one, the Valorian ships adjusted under the guidance of HMS Resolute. The storm lashed around them, waves of energy shaking their hulls. Many Valorian officers felt panic rising. But the humans never faltered. Hold steady. Callahan's voice commanded. Trust the calculations. We've trained for this. On. Callahan's voice. Trust the calculations. Callahan's voice. Callahan's voice commanded. The Valorian crew watched in awe. The humans were small in number, yet their ability to control, protect, and guide the fleet was unmatched. The sense of fear they felt from the scan earlier now transformed into respect mixed with disbelief. By the time the storm's energy began to subside, the Valorian fleet remained intact, and not a single ship was lost. Captain Thalkara stared at the human vessel. They saved us. Lieutenant Zyrax could barely speak. All of it. Their strength, their calm. It's terrifying. We thought we were the masters of space. And yet, humans. Thalkara remained silent for a long moment. Then he said, almost to himself, we have underestimated them. Entirely. Across the galaxy, the Valorians would report this encounter. They would speak of a small human warship, calm yet powerful, capable of surviving storms and protecting others. The details of its technology, its design, its crew's discipline, nothing would be fully understood. And deep in the heart of HMS Resolute, Commander Callahan looked at his crew and smiled quietly. They were humans. They trained for the worst. They protected the weak, and no matter what the galaxy threw at them, they would never back down. The Valorian fleet had scanned the human warship, and it had left them terrified, not because the humans sought war, but because they had seen true power wrapped in courage, intelligence, and restraint. The galaxy had never known a species like humans before, and the humans themselves had no idea how much of a legend they were becoming. The stars stretched ahead, quiet and endless. But the first part of a story, one that would be told across systems, had already begun. Humans had arrived in this region of space, and they were not here to conquer. They were here to survive, to protect, and to show the galaxy that courage and intelligence can be stronger than any weapon. The storm had passed. The stars were calm again, but the Valorian fleet remained uneasy. Their massive ships floated in space, engines humming softly, shields still flickering from the energy storm's residual effects. Captain Thalkara stared at HMS Resolute on the display, his claws tapping lightly on the console. The humans had guided them through danger without a single mistake. Every Valorian officer on the bridge could feel it. The humans were unlike any species they had ever encountered. Lieutenant Zyrax broke the silence. "Captain, we must decide. Do we pursue communication, or do we retreat? Their strength, it is beyond comprehension." Thalkara took a deep breath. "We cannot ignore this. Send a message. Open a direct communication channel. Let us speak with their commander." The message was sent, and moments later, a calm voice answered. "This is Commander James Callahan of HMS Resolute. You are safe. We ask only for cooperation and peace." The alien officers were silent. The voice carried no threat, no prideful arrogance, yet the presence of the ship behind it, its immense strength, made every Valorian tremble. Thalkara replied, "We are Valorians. We have never seen your kind before. Your ship, your technology, it is extraordinary. We wish to understand." Callahan's voice was steady. "You are welcome to observe, but our mission remains. We respond to distress signals. If you follow our instructions, you will not be harmed." The Valorian fleet cautiously adjusted their positions, allowing the human ship to lead. The aliens could not hide their curiosity, even from themselves. The more they scanned the Resolute, the more questions arose. Inside HMS Resolute, the human crew moved with calm efficiency. Lieutenant Maya Chen monitored the Valorian fleet while engineers checked the ship's systems. Everything was in perfect order, but the humans knew danger could appear at any moment. They had trained for unpredictability, and their preparation showed in every movement. "Commander," said Chen, "the Valorian ships are scanning us again. They are trying to understand our power." Callahan smiled slightly. "Let them. Knowledge is often the first step to trust." As the fleets continued through the nebula's outskirts, the Valorians could see more of the human ship's capabilities. Its engines adjusted in real time, compensating for energy bursts in the nebula. Its shields adapted instantly to the smallest variations in particle density. And the humans themselves worked without confusion. Despite being outnumbered and under constant observation, Lieutenant Zyrax finally whispered to the captain, "They are not just strong. They are perfect. Every system, every action, it is designed for efficiency, protection, and survival. They are terrifying." Thalkara nodded slowly. "Yes. But notice, none of their actions are aggressive. They do not attack. They only protect and guide." The Valorians followed silently, their curiosity mixing with awe. They could not help but notice the humans' behavior. Unlike most galactic species, whose power often came with arrogance, the humans wielded theirs with calm and restraint. Suddenly, a new alert appeared. A small Valorian survey ship had drifted too close to a dense cluster of charged particles. The storm had left residual energy pockets, dangerous to even the most advanced ships. "Captain," Zyrax shouted, "Survey ship Delta 12 is caught. Shields failing. Callahan's voice came over the comm, calm but firm. Valorian Delta 12. Follow my instructions immediately. Align with our vector. We will guide you out. The humans directed the survey ship with precise calculations. The small Valorian vessel, panicked and trembling, followed the instructions as best as it could. The Resolute adjusted its shields, taking the brunt of the residual energy, protecting the smaller ship. In moments, the survey ship emerged unscathed. The Valorian officers were silent, stunned. They had just watched a single human ship save an entire fleet. Captain Thalkara's voice broke the silence. Their technology, their strategy, even with just one ship, they can influence a whole fleet. And yet, they do not attack. They only protect. They are different. Lieutenant Zyrax nodded slowly. We are witnessing something unprecedented. Humans are not just survivors. They are guardians. Thalkara leaned closer to the main display. Open another channel. I wish to speak directly to the crew. I must understand. Cross. Callahan's voice replied almost immediately. You may ask questions, Captain Thalkara. But I warn you, our mission is simple. Help when needed. Avoid unnecessary conflict. The captain studied the human officer's calm tone. It was almost unnerving. Tell me, Commander Callahan, why do you build ships this powerful? If not for war, Callahan's voice remained steady. We build them to survive. To protect. We have learned that the universe is dangerous, and we cannot predict every threat. Our goal is not domination. Our goal is to ensure life continues ours and those around us. Strength is only meaningful if it can be used wisely. The Valorian crew exchanged quiet murmurs. They had never heard such reasoning. Power, in the galaxy, was usually a tool for conquest or pride. Humans used theirs differently. Thalkara hesitated, then asked, and yet, your training, your readiness, it is unlike anything we have seen. You are prepared for every danger, every possibility. How is this possible? Callahan smiled faintly. We train for the unknown. We expect danger, and we prepare, but we do not seek it. Courage and preparation are not the same as aggression. We act when necessary, but never for show or pride. For a long moment, silence filled the comms. The Valorians struggled to grasp this mindset. In their history, strength without pride was almost impossible to imagine. And yet, here it was humans, small in number, calm in presence, wielding unimaginable power without desire for conquest. As the fleets continued, another unexpected challenge appeared. A dense asteroid field, remnants of a destroyed star system, lay in their path. The Valorian fleet's sensors indicated potential collisions, yet the human ship moved with precise calculations, navigating the fleet safely through the debris. Commander Callahan, said Thalkara, almost reluctantly, how do you manage such precision? Our best navigators would struggle with this. Callahan's answer was simple. Training, observation, and teamwork. No one acts alone. Every crew member is aware of the ship's systems, the fleet's position, and the environment. Mistakes are reduced because everyone acts as one. The Valorian officers watched in quiet awe as the humans guided the fleet. Even small errors in judgment could destroy a ship in the asteroid field. But not a single vessel was lost. Humans, they realized, had mastered coordination, strategy, and foresight in ways the Valorians had not. Finally, the fleets reached open space beyond the asteroid field. The Valorians had survived, protected entirely by the human ship. The sense of fear from the initial scan was no longer just about power. It was about the humans' ability to act decisively, intelligently, and without hesitation. Thalkara addressed his officers. We have seen their technology, their discipline, and their courage. And yet, they do not seek to dominate. They do not provoke. They only protect. and guide. This is extraordinary. Zyrax nodded slowly. Extraordinary is not the right word, Captain. Terrifying might be closer. The human warship. It makes us feel small. And yet, we owe them our lives. Thalkara sighed. Yes. They are not just powerful, they are wise. And in a galaxy where wisdom is rare, that makes them dangerous in ways we cannot measure. Callahan, still calm and composed, addressed the Valorians one last time before they separated. We have no desire for conflict. But remember this. Strength is not measured by destruction. It is measured by the courage to face danger, the intelligence to plan, and the heart to protect. As the fleets parted ways, the Valorian ships remained in stunned silence. Their scanners had captured the readings, their officers had observed the actions, but still, the truth was clear. Humans were unlike anything the galaxy had known, not just in technology, not just in strength, but in spirit, courage, and wisdom. Captain Thalkara looked at the stars ahead, a quiet thought forming in his mind. We have underestimated humans, he murmured. Entirely. And if we do not learn from them, we may regret it. The human warship moved away into the distance, calm, confident, and ready for whatever lay ahead. The Valorians watched silently, still processing what they had experienced. And across the galaxy, the legend of HMS Resolute and its crew would begin to spread. A small human warship, terrifying in power, yet unmatched in courage and restraint. For the humans themselves, the mission remained simple. They did not seek glory or recognition. They sought to protect, to survive, and to guide those in need. And in doing so, they had shown the galaxy a truth no one could deny. Humans were a force unlike any other. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, quiet yet full of danger. And humans were ready not to conquer, but to stand, to survive, and to inspire fear and respect in all who underestimated them. The calm of deep space rarely lasted. The Valorian fleet had parted ways with HMS Resolute, their pride slightly bruised but their curiosity still ablaze. Captain Thalkara floated silently on his flagship's bridge, staring at the stars. His mind replayed every moment of the encounter. The humans had guided them through storms, asteroid fields, and energy anomalies, without panic, without error. They had shown strength, intelligence, and courage the Valorians had never witnessed before. But there was more. He could feel it. Humans were different in ways that could not be measured by scans alone. Back on HMS Resolute, Commander James Callahan observed the empty stretch of stars ahead. His crew worked in quiet efficiency, maintaining the ship's systems and reviewing the data from their encounter with the Valorians. For humans, survival required planning, discipline, and calm judgment. And the galaxy was full of dangers that would test every one of these qualities. "Commander," said Lieutenant Maya Chen, her eyes scanning the instruments. "Sensors detect an energy anomaly ahead. Large, unstable, and possibly dangerous." Callahan leaned over the console, studying the readings. "It's a massive energy cluster. Likely remnants from a dying star system. We need to analyze it carefully. It could affect nearby fleets, or worse, destabilize entire regions if triggered." The human crew nodded. Their training had prepared them for such situations, and they moved as one. Every calculation, every adjustment, every decision was precise. There was no panic, no hesitation, just focus. Far ahead, the Valorian fleet had detected the same anomaly. But unlike humans, their approach was cautious, defensive, and hesitant. Their pride slowed them. They watched from a distance, unsure how to navigate the strange phenomenon. Thalkara called a meeting with his officers. "We are skilled, yes, but humans. Their approach is different. Calm, yet decisive. Strong, yet restrained. We may survive storms, but we may never understand their courage. And yet, we cannot ignore it. Humans are becoming a standard we cannot match." Lieutenant Zyrax's claws tapped nervously on the console. Captain, should we attempt another contact? Or retreat? Thalkara's gaze remained fixed on the stars. We must observe. There is something in the way humans act that cannot be measured by fear or power alone. Perhaps we can learn from them. Meanwhile, HMS Resolute approached the energy anomaly. The ship's shields adjusted to absorb excess radiation, while the engines maneuvered with precision around unstable energy pockets. Callahan called out commands calmly, guiding the ship closer. Energy levels rising, Chen reported. If we miscalculate, it could generate a shockwave capable of disabling entire fleets. Callahan nodded. We've trained for this. Adjust shields to maximum efficiency. Monitor the energy flux. Everyone remain ready. As the ship moved closer, the human sensors detected unusual patterns, hidden gravitational eddies, unpredictable particle bursts, and energy surges that no standard calculations could fully predict. Yet the crew worked seamlessly, adjusting parameters in real time. Far behind, the Valorians watched in awe. Their scanners were overwhelmed by the data. Yet they could see the humans' calm focus. One of their officers, a young navigator named Silara, whispered in disbelief. They are fearless. And yet, they do not act recklessly. Every action is deliberate. How can a species so small, so seemingly simple, control such power? Captain Thalkara remained silent. That is their difference. Humans do not rely on instinct alone. They plan, they anticipate, they adapt. Strength is nothing without intelligence. Courage is nothing without control. Suddenly, a massive surge erupted from the energy anomaly, a wave of raw power radiating across the sector. The Valorian fleet struggled to maintain stability. Shields flickering, engines straining. Their panic was clear. HMS Resolute moved instantly. The human ship positioned itself between the surge and the Valorians, its shields absorbing the brunt of the energy. The crew worked in perfect synchrony, stabilizing the shields, redirecting power, and calculating escape vectors for the entire fleet. Commander Callahan, Chen said. The surge is stronger than expected. If it reaches the Valorians, their ships could be destroyed. Callahan's eyes narrowed, voice calm but firm. Then we protect them. Adjust shield matrix. Double energy output to deflect. Prepare emergency thrusters for precise maneuvers. The humans acted as one. The Valorian ships followed, guided by the humans' precise calculations. Each energy wave struck the human shields, but the Resolute held firm, absorbing shocks, redirecting forces, and stabilizing the fleet. One by one, the Valorian ships emerged unscathed. The Valorian officers were silent. They had just witnessed something impossible. A single human warship, with a crew far smaller than their own fleets, had controlled the forces of nature to protect them. Captain Thalkara's voice trembled slightly. This is beyond anything we imagined. Humans, they do not seek glory. They do not boast. They only act. And in doing so, they command power beyond our understanding. Zyrax nodded. It is terrifying and awe-inspiring. We have faced the strongest storms, the deadliest enemies. But humans, they are different. They turn danger into opportunity without fear. As the energy waves subsided, the Valorians realized the full extent of their dependence. HMS Resolute had not just saved them from the storm, it had demonstrated that humans were capable of controlling situations far beyond any alien fleet's expectations. Callahan contacted the Valorians once more. You are safe. Remember, strength without purpose is meaningless. Power is only valuable when used to protect and preserve. Courage is measured by action in the face of danger, not by fear of it. The Valorians were silent, absorbing the lesson. For the first time, they understood that humans' terrifying strength was not in weapons or numbers, but in their wisdom, preparation, and courage. Captain Thalkara finally spoke. We have underestimated you. Entirely. Not only your technology, but your spirit. Humans, you are unlike anything we have ever faced. And yet, you could be the allies we never knew we needed. Callahan replied calmly, "We seek no conquest. We protect. We survive. And when we can help others, we do. That is our way. You may choose to observe, learn, or leave, but remember this. Humans act with courage, intelligence, and heart. Never forget it." The Valorian fleet watched as HMS Resolute moved into open space, calm and unyielding. They knew the story of this encounter would be told across their empire. Their reports would describe the terrifying human warship, its advanced technology, and its seemingly fearless crew. But the deeper truth, the courage, intelligence, and restraint, would be the part that haunted the galaxy. Captain Thalkara turned to his officers. "We have seen strength, discipline, and courage beyond our understanding. Humans are a species unlike any other. Remember this day. Study it. Learn from it. The galaxy has changed, and we are witnesses." Lieutenant Zyrax added quietly, I never imagined a species could be so small, and yet so powerful. So calm, and yet so dangerous. Humans, they are the standard now. We must measure ourselves against them." The Valorian fleet departed, but the impression remained. They had scanned a human warship, and it had left them terrified not because the humans sought war, but because they had witnessed true mastery of courage, intelligence, and heart. Back on HMS Resolute, the crew continued their mission, scanning for distress signals, monitoring anomalies, and preparing for the next challenge. For humans, danger was a constant companion. But fear was never part of the equation. Callahan looked at his crew. "We've done well today. But the galaxy is vast, and threats are everywhere. We train, we prepare, and we act when needed. That is what makes us strong." Maya Chen nodded. "And what we did, the Valorians, they will never forget it." Callahan smiled faintly. "They may not. But that is not why we do it. We act because it is right. We act because we must. We act because we are human." As HMS Resolute disappeared into the star-strewn void, the legend of humans spread across the galaxy. From distant fleets to remote colonies, whispers began. The humans are coming, and they are unlike anything we have known. For the Valorians, the encounter had changed everything. Their understanding of power, courage, and strategy had shifted. No longer could they see the galaxy through fear alone. Humans had shown them a new standard, one that combined strength, intelligence, and heart in a way the galaxy had never seen. And far ahead, beyond the stars, HMS Resolute moved with calm determination. New challenges awaited, but humans had proven once again. No storm, no enemy, no force of nature could shake them. They survived. They protected, and they inspired awe and fear in all who encountered them. The galaxy had witnessed the first chapter of the human legend, and in the endless stars ahead, that legend would continue, growing stronger, inspiring hope, and leaving those who underestimated humanity trembling. Humans did not seek war. They did not seek glory. But when the galaxy looked, they would see. Humans are unstoppable when they act with courage, intelligence, and heart. And that truth terrified and inspired every species that dared to scan a human warship.